Welcome, everyone. My name is Cordero Holmes, and I am Rio's 2020-2021 Student Senator. And we are students at Rio Salado College in Tempe, Arizona, as well as members of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. Me and my colleague, who will introduce himself here shortly, are project leads in Alpha Theta Omicron chapter of PTK. And part of being in PTK is taking part in an Honors in Action project, which this year our team is exploring the idea of inherited perceptions of progress and how a limited understanding of progress can act as a barrier to making necessary change. Today, we are here with Mayoral-elect Mr. Tim Seay. But before we get to the reason for why we are here, I would like Bryce Cristiano, co-lead in the Honors in Action project, to introduce himself and take it away. Bryce?
Hi, yeah, my name is Bryce Cristiano, and I've been involved with the Honors in Action project since earlier this summer. I'm currently the co-lead along with Shayla, and we have chosen a topic that means a lot to us right now, especially where our country is going through a lot of turbulent changes, and there's a lot of changes that we want to see in our communities. So we chose this inherited perceptions of progress to kind of challenge a lot of the, just like the inherited ideology around us. So we'll go ahead, and also I want to allow Tim the opportunity to introduce himself and kind of introduce his platform to people who aren't aware of his run for mayor in Phoenix.
Yes. Okay, well, first of all, thank you both, Cordero and yourself, for having me on this platform. And Cordero, you're doing an excellent job. And, you know, we spoke briefly and did a handshake, and I definitely appreciate you, okay? Let's get that out of the way. I do appreciate that. So I'll do an introduction of myself. I'm Tim Seay, and I'm bringing you greetings from the most wishful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Arizona Jurisdiction Corporation Foundation and its jurisdiction, where I humbly served as the Grand Master, President, and CEO of that organization, and mayoral candidate for this beautiful city of Phoenix.
Excellent. So to get us started, I kind of wanted to focus on a little bit of our theme for our paper, for our project this year, especially because we're going to be moving from just doing like a research and academic paper into taking this for like an action project where we actually try to engage with our community. So, I mean, for you, fitting with our theme of perceptions of progress, what does progress mean to you?
Progress is moving forward, doing things that the old and making changes. If you continue to do the same thing, you'll get the same results. So progress is moving forward for a betterment of the environment or the society that you live in, depending on what you're talking about. Economically, progress is, of course, when we have a better living. Socially, it's all the same thing if we're moving forward and we're doing things that are different.
Excellent, because I think a lot of people, they kind of judge progress in different ways. That's also something that we've been exploring with our paper. So there are these economic measurements of progress, and then there's also social measurements of progress. So you and for your community specifically, what kind of progress are you looking for? What kind of change can be made?
Well, today's society and what's going on today, safety is a big issue right now for our city. So for its progress, we have to make changes in the things that we've been doing in the past. And that can include policing, can include education, it can include community involvement. These things play a big role for the city. And right now, safety is one of the main focus, whether it's dealing with the police or the COVID-19 that we have right now. So there's precaution in these things that we do. So my main focus is right now is safety of the city.
All right, and as far as like safety of the city goes and also police reform, in what kind of ways would you make those changes as a mayor? How would you address those challenges?
Well, first of all, I tell anyone who's done business or been in a leadership position, when a new leader comes in, it's just like a CEO coming into a new business. He has to get on the inside first before you can work on the outside. So my biggest job first is to get into the city of Phoenix, and as we say, open up the books. We have to open up the books to see what's going on. How can I improve? Not to default or anything like that, but how can I improve the situation? So we must start with the gut first, and that's the inside before we work on the outside. So for us getting all the city councils, there are 8 districts to Phoenix, and 8 districts must work for the betterment of the city, not the district. So we must be all on the same page. I'm not saying there should be a 9-0 vote or 0-9 vote, but it should be pretty close to everybody having the same idea.
And I kind of feel like right now, we're seeing election after election, we're seeing this decline in voter turnout, especially it feels amongst younger people. They feel a little bit disillusioned with voting, and it seems a little bit difficult to get them spurred up and excited about going out to vote. So, I know that you've been doing things with helping people get registered to vote, but how would you kind of inspire those younger people to get involved? Because a lot of them feel like, no matter who they vote for, there's not going to be adequate changes for them.
Okay, I'm just going to take with my instance as the younger voters. The younger voters has made history, whether you realize it or not, because the young voters has actually put me on the ballot. And I am the first African American to be on the mayoral ballot in Arizona and Phoenix. Phoenix was established in 1883. It is now 2020, and I'm the first one to get on the ballot. How did I get on the ballot? I didn't use the old schools or things like that. I met with the new voters and made them voters, and they want change. They want to see a different thing. So I'm saying right now, they're not discouraged. They're here to make changes, and they put me on the ballot. And now I'm their leader, and I must get in there to lead.
Right, and that's great to hear. Now, when we talk about kind of those differences in age groups as well, we're dealing with people from boomers to Gen Xers, millennials, and now we even have Gen Z voters. And how do you feel talking to those different groups? How do they kind of perceive progress differently? What kind of things are they looking for and changes in the city that are different from one another?
Well, I grew up in the civil rights movement. The millenniums and the baby boomers know about the civil rights movement, of course, but the millennium, we have to teach them the history of what's going on. So they're very, very involved, and they're not used to the way they used to do things back in the day, because they can't relate to that, because they can't even fathom that. So they're in a different society, and we are in a different society with more technology, more social media, and things of this nature. It's completely different. So we can spread the word a whole lot faster than we could back in the day. And our comprehension skill is greater today. Most of us, we reach to a point of age where we say, you young people don't know what you're talking about. But that, we can no longer do that, because our younger people are advanced in today's technology way beyond than I ever could be. And I'll make an example. I was in Walmart, and the little girl, she couldn't have been older than 3 years old, and she said, "Mommy, I need the password so I can get on my iPad." That's something I wasn't even thinking about at that age, I was thinking about how I'm gonna get to the bathroom so I don't mess up my diaper and mom won't beat me down. These days are different today. And I rely on the youth, the millenniums, the X, for change, because their vision is quite different from other older vision. And some of the older don't want to let go. I don't never want to be in that position. I want to be able to sit back and be a counsel if needed.
Excellent. What kind of, when you're dealing with those younger voters, though, what are we're talking about like police brutality right now. I don't know if Cordero, you want to?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in. on a Daniel and Tito podcast, I did my research on you, like you asked me to.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard you say that the most pressing issue in the city is police reform and the reallocation of funds. Right. And you made sure that you emphasize the reallocation of funds. What does the reallocation of funds look like?
Okay. Now there's most of us have the word defunding. And defunding is to eliminate all funds or all actions. That's not the case. We live in a society today where there will be policing. You can't eliminate policing. So when we go out and ask for certain things from our police department or the police chief, they need to wear body cams. They need this, that. That's not defunding. That's asking for more funds. So we have to be careful what you're asking for, because now what you get them body cams, which most of them are getting now, you have to have the ability to store data. And once you store data, you need money. So yes, are you talking about reallocating or defunding? Yes. Sure, you could take some funds and go to some other programs, and that would be the idea. So that'll be a gathering of the city councils and the mayor. And how can we reallocate some funds that's going to be a betterment to the community?
Yeah, that definitely would be of use, being that in the beginning, when COVID had begun, soon yes. after the death of George Floyd had occurred, and in our mm-hmm. city, the DPS officer Cervantes had murdered Dion Johnson, here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I know mm-hmm. Dion personally, and mm-hmm. that body cam and the reallocation of funds then would have definitely been of use, and we would have known what had occurred, most definitely. So
very observant. You're absolutely right. That's very observant. If mm-hmm. we'd have had body cam, it definitely could have changed the outcome of what has now occurred.
Yeah, it definitely would have. I think, Bryce, you any other question you want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about reallocating funds as well, we're talking about maybe social programs as well, because I know I've had some instances where I have family friends with bipolar disorder that have the police called yes. on them. Police show up. Yes. The police aren't social workers, so they don't know how to handle those situations. So what ends up happening is so those people end up getting shot because the police don't know how to deal with it. So how can we also change that situation as well for mental health?
Okay, now we really have to be careful, like you said, what you asked it for. You said reallocate funds and so send a social worker out there. Of course, we can. But what you're going to do is end up sending a social worker out there that's not adapt to the outside element. They'll be adapt to the inside element with some help. But if you send one out there, eventually one is going to get killed. If an officer can get killed on domestic violence is up now since COVID, 29%, there's a good chance that someone is going to get killed. Now, I don't think we should send a social worker out there that don't only get the minimum payment, do a job that does not need to cost them their life. So what's going to happen is you'll send a social worker out there and you'll have an officer out there and you'll be paying more money. That's we have to understand the economic of what we're asking for, because it's going to take more money. Yeah, we can reallocate funds for a social worker. And my idea, of course, they should make that phone call. But to go out there by themselves, they're not equipped for that. That's a safety issue. And the first one to get killed, things have changed.
Okay. Let me ask a question. You're the first African American to be on the mayoral ballot in city of Phoenix. Once elected, you'll be the first Black man to be in the mayor of Phoenix, most definitely. I wanted to ask you a question. I feel you, but people like Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Bob Woodson, right? They all fought for civil rights in distinctively different ways. What actions can we do as people who are undoubtedly benefiting from their fight due to continue to fight against oppression?
Okay, first of all, we have to understand history, just like you said, civil rights. Now,
Yeah.
I could take you all the way back to 1863, right? Proclamation of Emancipation was signed by Abraham Lincoln. He put that out January 1st, right? 1865, April 15th, he was murdered. He was murdered,
Yes.
right? So we'll jump up a little bit because there's a lot of history in between that, but I can go to 1963, Medgar Evers, June 12th, was assassinated in his driveway. You understand?
Yeah.
So then we can jump up a little bit. September 15, 1963, Mobile, Alabama, 4 beautiful girls were murdered. They were murdered, right? Then we can take it up to 1968, April 4, Martin Luther King was assassinated. And most of them don't know why were they assassinated, what was the gathering of? Because we got blood on our hand because they died to promote voting. So we have blood on our hands already. So we are doing a disjustice to those who came before us, and we haven't learned our history or why it is so important to vote. Voting is an honor and privilege. We must stay to voting. And a lot of people say, well, voting doesn't count. Yeah, you're right. If you don't vote, it won't count. It won't. But you'll never get a chance to make a difference to be involved in that. So that's very important for us to understand history. And I'm not talking black, white, because in 1963, November 22nd, John F. Kennedy was assassinated. So I'm talking about blacks, whites, women, children. They all died for us to vote. It's time for us to get to the table and start voting.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all heard it here. Tim Seay said you got to get out there and vote. Tim doing a lot of work in South Phoenix with a lot of individuals restoring their rights with UBM, Tedrick, and Cam. Just keep on doing the good work. And everywhere else, if you're not registered to vote, make sure you get out there and vote, cash your ballot in, because like Tim Seay has said, there's blood on our hands and we have to do this. So.
That's right. And restoration of rights, if you've time in the state of Arizona 7 years and you've been a good person, I need you to come see me so I can get you registered to vote and get your Second Amendments back. I could do that from the seat I'm sitting at, and including when I'm the mayor, because I need everybody at the table to make changes. And if we don't get those numbers, there'll never be a change.
Yeah, most definitely. I also heard you say that it's going to be an open door, so we're going to be having a barbecue on the front lawn or something.
Well, I'm not saying we're gonna paint the house black or nothing like that, but yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We'll have a good time.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tim Seay. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wasn't just referring to South Phoenix, so even though I live in South Phoenix, we're talking about the betterment of Phoenix in a whole. All races, cultures, doesn't matter. What we're looking for is economic equality and opportunity. So that means for us all. That's for us all. So it's time to get some leadership that can adjust to whether they can understand brutality, homeless, economic value. These things a leader must possess in order to lead.
For sure. Before we close, Bryce, you want to ask me a question?
No, I think that we covered everything, and I just want to thank you very much for taking the time to speak. I know that you're busy, especially with the election coming up. So it's great to see somebody out there in the community actually doing something, because I was kind of looking.
I'm not gonna let you off the hook, Bryce. You got to bring me a hard question. I'm not gonna let you off the hook.
All right.
You got a hard question for me. I'm not gonna let you off the hook. I can have.
All right. So I'm kind of interested in like this idea of the U.S. itself kind of being the sum total of its cities. Now you're from Chicago, so it's a major city, the cultural capital of the U.S., maybe also the cultural capital of the world. Mm-hmm. What kind of changes can we make to Phoenix in order to bring that up to like a more nationally prestigious place like in the U.S.?
Well, you know, you just said the magic word. What changes we're making? We're in the process of a historic move right now. It's the first African American of being the mayor of the fifth largest metropolitan city in the United States. So this, not to me, is a big deal. How large the city is. This is something I was already equipped with. So the changes I would make would be making this actually look like the fifth largest metropolitan city in the United States, whether that's transportation, economics, affordable housing, all those things that are associated with a big city should be here in Phoenix. So I tell most of the people, once I've done my job as a Phoenix mayor, I'm asking you not to give it back. I want Phoenix to spread all across the United States. It's one of the best cities to live in and be a place of happiness.
Yeah, most
Did I
definitely.
answer your question? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's a answer. Thank you. Because, you know, Phoenix is one of the largest cities in the U.S., but doesn't have like that same acclaim as other cities do. So it's, you know, seeing.
But there's Phoenix is actually beautiful once you you leave the inner city or the outer city. You know, we have beautiful waterfalls, mountains. It's places that's never really been visited, especially those who live here where it's no big deal to them. But we're the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. And we need to use that as a platform when they come here. Because a lot of people say, well, there's too many coming here, but it do improve the economics because our census go high. That means we get more government funding to do for our cities. It's a numbers game, and we must understand how to play the numbers of the game to get the money. And I think I'm one of the best at it.
Yeah, most definitely. I know that I also had seen another podcast where you talked about as soon as you get in there and you're the mayor, that you have friends who are business owners who are going to come here just because you're the mayor. What kind of businesses would those be, and what kind of jobs would that produce?
Well, see, in my organization that I run, I am tied to the United States. People say a lot of different things about other things, but popularity is big when you're bringing in resources. You know, I take, I'm just saying if, say Snoop Dogg moved here in Scottsdale, right? And he decided to open up a establishment, right?
Yeah.
Not only will Phoenix be here, they'll be coming from all over the world. And that's the situation that I'm in. Mm-hmm. I have some friends and businesses that can do well and they can franchise in other areas, but right now they're afraid to come here. So if we get leadership that can provide better safety and better economic value, they'll come. All right. They will come.
May I ask, what kind of businesses are those? That's a hard question.
Well, in my resources, it's electronic, it's the food industry, it's the entertainment industry. It covers just about all of them. And there's some entertainers here that hasn't really branched out because they think it's not sociable to do so here. So we bring in help to advance that. You know, we make them ambassador of entertainment. Electronics, cars, things of that nature. Even construction. You know, builders that can come in because we can keep affordable homes down to building, but we must also play the chess game because concrete goes up, lumber goes up. You know, that increases the affordable building to the house. So we can maintain that and bring in some friends where everyone can benefit and do well. Society would be great.
Yeah, it definitely would, and everybody will get the opportunity to see how great this city and this state is altogether. Yes. Well, Mr. Tim Seay, we appreciate you coming out and just hanging out with us. Like Bryce said, you could be anywhere, but you're here with us. We know you're a busy man. We're going to go ahead and let you get to it. And good luck for the rest of your campaign, and can't wait to see what comes of it in November.
I expect y'all to be at the inauguration, all right?
You said it. We'll be expecting the invitation and some more stuff.
I need both of y'all to be there, okay?
All right, man. You said it, Bryce. He said it, and we got this recorded.
I have
So
to come back from China. Yeah.
Bryce,
Yeah.
I need you to be there too, okay?
All right, I'll be there.
All right,
all right, Tim Seay.
all right, Cordero.
All right, thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you.
See you later, okay?
Peace.
All right, thanks for the interview and let me be on your platform. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Thank you.